And now moving on to the major crackdown that has followed Hong Kong's deadliest fire disaster. Officials have now arrested 8 people, including scaffolding subcontractors, engineering consultants, as well as the project managers. And this is in connection with a massive tower block blaze that engulfed an entire residential complex in Hong Kong. Investigators say flammable foam panels as well as the bamboo scaffolding wrapped in netting installed during renovation helped the fire leap rapidly from one building to the next. Rescue teams, meanwhile, focused on apartments from where emergency calls had come in, but which they could not reach for hours as the inferno raged out of control. Firefighters nearly took 40 hours, in fact, to fully extinguish the blaze, and even 2 days later, smoke is still drifting from the charred tower skeletons. Visuals on your screen on what the aftermath of the deadly fire looks like now. Officials say, unfortunately, at least 128 people have lost their lives, 79 are injured, and about 200 still remain unaccounted for. And unfortunately, this death toll is likely to rise as the investigation continues.
到目前為止呢，呢場大火已經造成咗128名人士死亡，包括咗108名呢喺現場移送出嚟嘅一啲嘅遺體，另外有4名呢係喺送咗去醫院之後呢係喺醫院入邊咧去世嘅人士，亦都包括咗呢有16具係燒焦咗嘅遺體，而家仍然呢係喺大廈入邊嘅。我哋唔排除呢。 稍後當警方進入去作詳細嘅調查同埋搜證嘅時間呢，係有機會係另外再發現一啲呢係燒焦咗嘅遺體嘅。喺呢128名嘅死者當中呢，有39名，我哋已經呢係確認咗佢哋嘅身份啦。
Viewers, with the fire now out, attention is now turning to accountability. Police, anti-corruption investigators and fire experts. They are now expected to conduct a 4-week-long probe into negligence as well as safety violations. Families are still waiting for answers, and the Hong Kong government has now announced financial relief for those who've lost homes and also their loved ones.
The death toll from Hong Kong's worst fire in nearly 80 years has risen to over 100, with about 200 people still missing. This 48 hours since the fire began on Wednesday afternoon at the Wong Fuk Court apartment complex in the Tai Po district. As the blaze was contained on Friday, families had the grim task of looking at photographs of the dead taken by rescue workers. Local resident Mira Wong, whose parents were living in Wong Fuk Court, was looking for news of her father.
Just recognize some picture is in maybe my body's of my dad because my body is still missing here.
Another resident who did not want to be identified said a friend's wife was among those unaccounted for.
Rationally speaking, it means there's no hope. Hope just means having hope in your heart. That's all, right? Think about it. It's been after so many hours. Yesterday, I heard there are still 99 missing. So, having hope is not true. But the bodies still have to be found, right? Let me see if they've found them. Later, I'll go to the school to ask.
An executive at a Migrant Women's Refuge Association said dozens of Filipino domestic workers had been caught up in the disaster, with 19 still missing. Meantime, Indonesia's consulate says 2 of the dead were nationals who were also working as domestic helpers. Locals say many of the apartment complex's residents were elderly. The fire at the complex, which was wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green mesh for renovation work, quickly spread on Wednesday. Hong Kong security chief said fire alarms in the complex had not been working properly. Police said they had arrested 3 construction company officials on suspicion of manslaughter for using unsafe materials, including flammable foam boards blocking windows. Residents were told by authorities last year that they faced relatively low fire risks after complaining repeatedly about fire hazards posed by ongoing renovation works. The fire is Hong Kong's deadliest since 1948.